Hello, and welcome to Stoner's Paradise Podcast, presented by Rocket Genetics, sponsored by the 420 Bank. My name is Calvin Sanger. I am here with Katrina Storton, Liz Armand, and Bo Zarek, here to talk about the Rocky Horror Picture Show at the 420 Bank.
Rocky Stoner Picture Show.
On that
Speaking
note,
of
we
which-
should spark up.
Oh, yes.
We're not going to do this sober, are we?
Right?
I wouldn't
Oh,
dare.
no, not
There's
here.
roaches in this mansion, for God's sake.
Every good mansion has a couple of roaches.
Exactly.
I think this is going to be the perfect venue for our Zen room.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I almost thought of doing, because I know at the theater it's a bit of a thing to get Dr. Scott from one side all the way up to the stage. Mm-hmm. And I thought, wouldn't it be funny if for just a bit the screens glitch and it actually showed our actor for Dr. Scott up here looking at all the roaches and then cut back to the real footage for the movie?
That would be incredible.
So, to give you all some context, I am Calvin Sanger, the director. Next to me is Liz, our assistant director. Katrina is our producer extraordinaire, and Bo is playing the role of the criminologist, also known as the narrator, for those of you who have not seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
This show is quite the strange journey, I would say, and this venue is going to match it very well. So what we are excited to bring to everyone is not only the Rocky Horror Picture Show with a fantastic shadowcast performed by the Coachella Valley Shadowcast, but also a different sort of Rocky experience as we are making this a Rocky Stoner Picture Show party. From 5 to 10 p.m., August 23rd, we are going to be diabolically raunchy and dance our hearts out, heckle our lungs until our voices are depleted, and smoke until we're too stoned to remember anything.
Now, Katrina, if you've never seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show before, is this really the right venue to see it at the first time?
I don't know if it's the right venue to see it, as in the movie itself, but it is the right venue to experience it. Because you will be right into the action the whole time.
I think it's a perfect time to lose your virginity if you haven't yet. I mean, if
No.
not, what are you doing? Come on.
Now, Calvin, do you want to explain to them what exactly you mean by that, or what kind of party is this, pal, huh? What's up?
So, if you have never seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show before, you are a virgin. If you've seen it before, alone in your room, you are a virgin. If you've seen it in a theater without a live shadowcast, you are a virgin. This is a truly unique experience, unlike anything you've ever seen before. You really just gotta live it.
I almost feel like the Rocky Horror Picture Show is just perfect for this kind of environment because it's one of those movies that there's so many interesting moments and so many funny scenes, as well as scenes that you just would not expect to see in a movie titled. Because for me, at least, when I first heard the Rocky Horror Picture Show, you think B-movie, you think horror, you think that sort of classic horror vibe. So when you get into this raunchy, depraved sort of environment, it's almost good to be stoned because you can just, instead of questioning everything, you can go along for the ride.
Well, if you're sober, you're going to question the entire plot, and this plot makes no sense.
No, I mean, you hear Rocky Horror, you think blood and gore, and instead you have fishnets and transvestites. I mean,
Exactly. The amount of people I've told about this show, and they assume that it's some horror film, and they don't want to come to it because they don't like scary movies.
it's a scary good time, that's for sure.
I actually have a funny story about that because the first time I ever watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show, well, I say watched, it was more I snuck in while my parents were watching in the living room when I wasn't supposed to.
Love that.
They told me to go play in the backyard, and I come in, and of course I come in right as Frank does during the beginning of Sweet
You went forever
Transvestite.
changed.
Oh, I was, because I remember standing there, peeking my head around the kitchen wall, watching as he comes down the elevator, Susan Sarandon screams, and I sit there and I go, is he scary? He's kind of hot. And
That's
from
the
that
right
moment
reaction.
on, exactly, and from that moment on, it was a journey.
if you are the type of person that loves to fuck monsters, this is a movie for you. Because you not only have, Frankenstein's creation, you also have this gender fluid main character that's sexy no matter what he's wearing. And additionally, you have Riff Raff, who is arguably extremely attractive.
Richard O'Brien. My number is 760.
Now, while we're here at the 420 Bank and Dispensary Lounge, why don't we all talk about our very first time watching Rocky Horror, since Bo already kicked us off right there.
Well, my first time, Katrina, our producer, was in the show, and she made me give a lap dance to a stranger. So, you know, you never know what you're going to get when you're at the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh,
that
yes.
doesn't sound so bad.
He wasn't my type. I mean...
To piggyback off of that, though, because I do remember it being that I'm the one that popped your Rocky Horror cherry, we had been chatting through a dating app at the time. And upon our first night's conversation, or somewhere in the first week, I had invited you to my showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And you didn't show up.
I was working.
Good excuse. Anyway.
Show up.
Anyway.
I didn't want to see people in fishnets. Damn it, I wanted my dime.
You know what? It was entirely my loss. It was a great show. And when I finally came, I saw just what I was missing.
He came.
When you finally came, you came.
Now, this show we're talking about is on August 23rd at the 420 Bank in Palm Springs. When is that show starting, Katrina?
Starting at 5 p.m. and going until 10.
That's right. It's a full 5-hour block, full Rocky Stoner party.
Oh, and don't worry. The show itself starts at 8 p.m., but we're going to have plenty for everybody to look and do between that 5 and 8 period. We're going to have a costume contest. We might have some live music. Who knows? You'll just have to come and find out. But additionally, to continue our story, Calvin and I ended up meeting up and falling in love pretty quickly. And within a few months, my Shadowcast was doing another show. So Calvin got to see me in full rehearsal mode, to and from the rehearsals for a good month, because college Rocky casts are a lot more thrown together. I think we maybe rehearsed over 2 weeks at most, actually, thinking about it. But regardless, he then came to that show, and I wanted to make sure he was properly ready to lose his Rocky virginity. So not only were you super stoned, you were also super drunk, and then I made you get on stage and give a lap dance to a stranger.
And yeah, I had the time of my life, obviously. I'm still here. I mean,
Changed
it's
man.
just such an awakening. It's such a welcoming community. And it's because of how obscure the show is. It's so bizarre and so out there and so alien that none of us truly fit. None of us are this perfect type. And therefore, we all belong. We're all together, just as alienated, just as weird.
There's no one too weird for Rocky. There's nothing too obscure. You can wear whatever you want to this party, and you will still fit in. So be yourself, first and foremost.
Just be a beautiful weirdo.
Wear whatever makes you feel sexy. And if that means dressing up as a dinosaur, then so be it.
And smoke lots of pot.
Here, here.
Cheers to that. I've told you guys this story, but I think this would be fun for them to hear. So my mother was a big Rocky Horror fan growing up. You know, she went to all the midnight showings and such. And my father, he only went a couple of times back in the day, and that was just if a date wanted to go, you know? And so I, of course, told them excitedly, I'm doing a Rocky Horror Picture Show Shadowcast. Look at me, yay! My mom was super enthusiastic about going. My dad was like, "Oh, I do. Of course I'm gonna come, son. You know, this will be great. Like, you haven't done theater in a while. This will be great for you." And I get there, and I do the show, and my dad is immediately... You had me next to him at the stage light, so I could hear every comment he made while you did your MC speech. And what I can never memorize it, but the Rocky Horror Pledge, when you say, you put one hand, put it over your crotch. I literally heard my dad go, "I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I am not a crook." It was very funny for me, but what made it even better was I talked to my mom afterwards, and she told me that during a sheet scene, which is a very fun gag we got to do during our last
Oh,
Shadowcast. Yeah, the sheet. And that was the one and only time my mom said she saw my dad gasp and clutch at his chest. He clutched
Oh
his
my God.
pearls. And understand, this is the man who raised me on Die Hard, Terminator, Lethal Weapon. It was so funny.
It's just,
So,
Frank
yeah.
and Fishnets.
Oh, he couldn't. He's a changed man now.
So, fair warning, if you are insecure about your sexuality, this show will offend you. Not my will.
Well, actually, no. If you're insecure about your sexuality, this will either offend you or invigorate you.
Or awaken you. I mean,
There's a lot of awakening happening.
Not to say that if you're
Yeah.
offended and you're into that, like, we're not kink shaming you for sure.
Oh, no.
I might be.
We kink celebrate. Unless kink shaming is your kink.
Exactly. That's my mindset. It's like, who knows who's into what, and that's what's great about Rocky Horror is that there's something for
everyone.
everybody. If
Absolutely.
you're
Oh, yes.
a fan of those parodies of 50s B movies, or if you're a fan of say, just those raunchy comedies of the 70s, anything, you'll love this show. You'll
If you love
this
musical theater, if you love just cool makeup and outfits, if you like, this is also in England. It's filmed at this amazing castle. You could just watch the architecture of the whole movie and the set design, and it's actually very intuitive and kind of funny, especially if you look at the lab scene where Dr. Scott comes through the wall because they forgot to build a door.
Wait,
that's right. They
Yes.
forgot to build an extra door in the set, so they literally just broke down the
Yeah,
wall.
they just had him come
that's
through the wall.
why he does that?
Yes.
I did not know that. That is the first time.
They meant to put a door into the lab. Yeah.
No, it was such a rushed filming schedule, too. It's,
Oh yeah, and there's no heating or anything in that castle, and it was leaking, and half the cast got pneumonia.
Oh, yeah. All the Transylvanian extra characters you see just floating around, they all had pneumonia. They were all drunk and high.
Oh,
And
yeah.